I think it depends, and the reason why I say that is I think that there are certain things that the school district is paying for that are too pricey, and I think that it might be a good time right now to look at some of the things that they pay for certain services and supplies and see if those costs can be reduced. I think anytime you do combination between town and school, you have more buying power as far as negotiating contracts. And I think it would be something that if we looked at it as a whole, we might be able to work out a better deal and bring costs down between services and supplies. I do think that some of the supplies have been pricey. And as for it affecting education or the school district, I think the benefits would outweigh the costs.
Steve? I think that your question goes to the fact is, are there certain items that the town may have the school district do that wouldn't be a good fit? And I do think that that's important that we look at. The school is very, very good at doing what it does, and that is educating 25% of the community, the 5,500 students that walk through our doors every day. And there are certain services that actually don't make sense, and some people would think they would. For instance, our library system. Our library system in the school district is very different from the public library system. The types of students that we service in the school system, their ages, the types of books, the types of support that are given to them, the media services that are given to them are different than those in the library. The public library. And for instance, now there's many people that are out of work and they're in the library using the computers there, using the internet there, researching, looking for training and that type of thing. Those areas aren't necessarily compatible, although on the surface they appear to be. Some areas, though, are compatible. An example would be building services. We manage 680,000 square feet of space in the community. We take care of the largest amount of space. We have a successful energy program and proven that we can save millions of dollars simply by running a program in a particular way, and we paid for that. We paid $150,000 just to get that knowledge and to use it. We have the ability to use that on the town side and do that on the town buildings and save money. So in that case, I don't think that they would burden the school at all to take on the energy or the facilities. As far as the cable studio, I'll let Ron get into that.
I think when we talk about combining services, I think we take the educational service and educational process and put it on one side. And there's certain services that can be combined that any business would do. Okay, one of the areas that we spoke about would be technology, would be an area that I believe that can be combined. This is a business function. So there's two different types of businesses. We have the educational portion of the business, and there's the running of the business. So I believe that that is one area that we could combine and work out well and not distract from the educational process. Again, Steve mentioned maintenance services. Again, that's a business type of function that we can do. And we can run that, and I think that would be good and would not take away from the educational process. Energy conservation, there's no question that the knowledge that we have in our department and the amounts of money we've saved over the last 7 years is an area that we can really save money in. Okay? Cable studio becomes a iffy type of point that we need to look at. I believe that we use the facility for our educational purposes, and so does the community use the facility. I believe if we had a single management system there, it could work, but I think it has to be what the public wants on that because it's a town-wide building, it's not a school building. So I think that has to have more input. I think what we did wrong with the idea of the cable studio is a philosophy that we follow with the school district. From March to October, we bring up all the issues, we discuss it, it can be taken on and looked at that. So when we get to the budget process, we're talking about dollars and cents, what we can afford. That's our strategic plan. So if we think we're going to do something in a strategic plan, we discuss it throughout the year. And then when we get to the budget period, we're only talking about the money, can we afford to do it? the cable studio came in the budget time where you're spending 45 minutes on it. And that wasn't enough time to get the public's opinion on it and get it out. So it should come up in the normal year, and then we can make a decision on it. Also, when you talk about the issues that we have, I think there's a lot of services that we combine that go under the radar screen. We have field maintenance that both the town and the school district work together on. No one knows when the town person is helping the school district because they've got a bunch of events, or when the school district is sending people over to help the town because of the work that they need to do on the fields. We also do snow plowing in this parking lot, the schools, because we've got the smaller trucks. So there's a lot of that stuff that goes on the bidding process right now, is that each side puts out their bids, and part of that bid is that the community, the other side of the ledger, can bid and get the same prices. So those are some of the stuff that we have.
Okay. The next question is from the editor of the Derry News, Mr. Bill Gilman.
Thank you, Mark. And thank all of you for being here, and thank you for running. The fiscal year 2010 budget that's being put together, going to be voted on. The process has been a real challenge for the current school committee and school administration. That, unfortunately, is the good news. Because the bad news is that 2011 promises to be even more challenging and potentially even worse. Looking ahead to the fiscal year 2011 budget, what are some of the areas that you feel may need to be cutbacks, cost savings made, and some of the hard decisions that the administration and the school committee may have to make in next year's budget?
Steve, we begin this question with you.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think that we did a good job this year of paring down the budget and making changes. We have eliminated a total of about 33 positions. Half of those administrative support positions, half of those are instructional positions. We did so by increasing the class sizes slightly in some areas, and I've had a number of parents that have talked to me about it. I think that we, in the future, can look to making sure that we have our class sizes tuned up so that they're the right size, so that the students are getting an adequate education, and we can, make sure that as the budgets are presented to us, or as funds are presented to us, that we use them in an appropriate manner. This year, we have a situation occurring with the school funding, and that is that the court, the last two mandates of the court will come down and need to be handled by June of this year, and that is that the state must fund an adequate education and hold itself accountable. So I expect that we'll be seeing different numbers from the state in 2011. The hit that we've taken this year is not as drastic as on the town side. While the town, Governor Lynch announced that it would be $1.5 million on the town of Londonderry side, it's about $150,000 on the school side. I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that Londonderry and the 18-member coalition communities and schools held them accountable, and they know that they have to meet this court mandate by June, so it will be a little difficult for them to cut large amounts of money out of us this year. So for next year, we can keep pressing for more funds from the state so they can meet their commitments to provide funding for an adequate education, and we can make sure that we keep our own district tuned up and in good shape.
I think as we look forward, one of the big things that we have to look at is the population and where the population is of the students. Okay, and as we look at that, we look at to see what is our staffing requirements as we do this. Also, I think we need to look at is in special education, have we have the programs in-house that have saved money. We have a proven record of saving